My first question will be general. You're coming from Sri Lanka. What makes a man coming from Sri Lanka to participate on the convoy leading with humanitarian aid leading to Gaza?
Well, I still remember when I started this whole process was in 1967, right after the Six-Day War, when we had a big discussion. I was in school and I was just after, well, actually I was first year of university. And we happened to sit around and talk about it. And I said, it's pretty obvious that it's France and Britain that kind of instigated the 1956 uprising. And this is a continuation of that same war that displaced 200,000 additional people. Because we had 700,000 in 1948, May 15th, 1948, and then the June Six-Day War. So I just decided that, that we need to just do something more than just talk and sit around and, talking about things. We need action.
Do you think this conflict is more important or more significant than other conflicts in the world? Because there are plenty of conflicts in the world.
Yeah, we can pretty much select a conflict of our choice to make it, sponsor that cause. Yes, it is. But this is the one conflict that people all over the world have ignored or taken for. They have taken it for granted that this is an issue that's not going to go away. It's a lost issue. I talk to a lot of people in every country, and they always say that it's a lost issue. But it's not a lost, it sounds like a lost issue. But if we let it go, then it's going to be a lost cause. My contributions I would probably say essentially was the fact that I was there at the right time, and we exhorted people to stand firm, and we prevailed on the younger generation, who were a bunch of little hotheads sometimes, but we prevailed on them to exercise caution and the ability to kind of say, let's not take this too far in terms of violence. We shouldn't be using violence. Okay? Keep your cool, but still achieve our purposes was the main goal.
Have you been on the ship which led to Gaza when the Israeli soldiers attacked the activists?
No, I was not on the ship, but I'm aware firsthand because of the people who were involved, especially two people who went from the Isle of Wight in England. And
so did you know personally someone who died there?
Yes, I did know a Turkish, one of the Turks who was killed. He was actually. He participated in the convoy. And he's a father of 3 children. Your boat is in international waters, and you're suddenly approached by, armed men, okay, calling out to you, and then you hear the helicopters up in front. All of a sudden you're attacked and you're shot from up there. They're shinning down, and of course, people grabbed the first Israelis who had come down the ropes. And when they grabbed them, naturally, you treat them as the enemy. And it was the IHH leadership that came to the rescue of the Israeli soldiers, the 3 who were badly beaten and almost killed, when they came running and grabbed them and treated them and handed them over back to the Israelis once the Israelis came down to the hold of the ship.
In mainstream media, this was described as an attack of activists of the Israeli
terrorists.
Soldiers.
Right. That's what exactly what was portrayed, because the Israelis had time to do whatever they wanted. They put out their own version of this. This lady had taken the clip out of her camera and stuck it in her underwear. And that's how she was able to get away with it. And she gave another chip that was totally blank to the Israelis. See? So That was one version, and the lady in question is actually from Bolivia, from Bolivian television station, who had gone on the flotilla. So if you try to compare the two versions between what the Israelis put out and what this lady put out, of course we are still trying to get, I'm aware of this from first-hand information, again through with the IHH people in Istanbul, they are still fighting with international organizations, with the United Nations, and they are trying to prevail on the Israelis to hand over all the cameras, even their belongings, their bags, everything are still in Israel, in Ashdod, which included the clothing.
How much do you think are part of the people motivated by traditional anti-Semitism against Jews?
Well, you know,
in the campaign in favor of Palestine.
You mean the pro-Palestinian activists?
Yes,
you mean?
Exactly.
You know, I'll be very honest. I do not believe that there was anti-Semitism, because when I participated in, I met Muslims from all over the world. Of course, I met fanatics. I met some hotheads too. So you have that aspect of it, okay? But the majority, let's say, of the 518 people who were there, I don't believe that I ran into, maybe 100 of them were fanatics who were anti-Semitic, perhaps. We were very happy to receive this Jewish organization from Jerusalem. Okay, these are a group of rabbis. They are the opposing view to the state-accepted rabbi and the settlers, Hasidic Jews. And they joined us in Amman in the convoy. They joined us in the convoy. And this organization actually boarded the ship when it returned. When the people returned to Istanbul after the last flotilla massacre, they went over there, and this is an organization that operates with the Hasidic Jewish movement in New York and Washington, who are in the forefront of the struggle for Palestinian rights. In fact, they were the first to go into Gaza. We told them to go into Gaza first. And the people look forward to receiving these people because they have lived with rabbis all their lives. See, so when people say these are terrorists, these are anti-Semites, not true. It is not true. I wish people would understand that. And when you go into that website, including IHH, by the way, which is on our website, vivapalestina.org, you will also see their organization in the Jewish acronym. You will have more acts of terrorism if you don't settle this issue. It's not a threat, but it is a fact. There are more people who get annoyed, who get all angered and built up, their passions flow when they hear of these atrocities that are committed. And unless they all step forward and push the issue, I think this situation will continue. There's 1.5 million Gazans, Palestinians, living in Gaza. Of the 1.5 million, about 500,000 live in tents, okay? Because they have no building materials, there's nothing coming in, nothing is permitted to come in. So this is collective punishment on a population which has been rejected by the United Nations, the Geneva Convention on Human Rights, or every single Geneva Convention has been flouted. Israel has flouted 29 United Nations resolutions. The only country that has been able to flout the UN resolutions and get away with it. Okay? Why? Because they know damn well that there's number one behind them. Or number one, the United States will stand firmly behind them. Okay? But what do? They destroy houses, they destroy rooms, and if you even as much as build a room illegally, that is immediately occupied by an Israeli settler with an armed guard, which is an IDF person coming in.
How is it with the access to water?
The Jordan River has pretty much run dry. There's hardly any water in the Jordan River because it has been diverted. Okay? The Golan Heights, being in the Golan Heights, I can tell you the water no longer flows down the heights. And the best part of the heights is taken over by the Israelis. And they have approximately 27 square miles, 27 square kilometers of land that's been seized. Okay? And they're not going to give it over because they say they want a permanent peace, they say, with Syria. But of course, Syria will get their land back, I think, at some point in time. But the water resources in Gaza, they flooded Gaza when the convoy was there. They flooded Gaza for 2 days. They flooded Gaza. They released all the sewage into Gaza. Okay, and the border runs like that, the Israeli border. So that's the Israeli border. Then for 3 kilometers, you cannot have anything. It's about a couple of kilometers of mined area. Then you have flat land, and then they come and cut down these ancient olive trees, which is the only source of life for the Palestinian farmers. So you cannot plant anything, you cannot replant any of the trees that are cut down, you cannot get any water. The Israelis have swimming pools in their front yard, but the Palestinians don't have water for their farming purposes.
How can, in these circumstances, works or hospitals function? Are there some schools or hospitals?
Well, the schools are pretty much in Gaza. It's pretty much out in the open. There are no schools. You know, they try to gather under trees. It's groups of students with teachers who come together and talk about subjects and do some homework and written work. They don't have school books, they don't have note paper, they don't have pens or pencils. Okay? They don't have medications. This siege has lasted long enough. And it's time that people woke up to the realities of what is happening to the Palestinians. You know, because if this happened to any country or any people in Europe, there would have been a solution to this problem. I mean, these people have suffered now since 1948, okay? And the world talks about the Palestine issue, but it's insufficient to just talk about it. And the fact is that if we consider all the atrocities committed by Israel, when they take the water resources, when they steal them off their land, when they cut down their agriculture, they destroy their agriculture, destroy their homes, okay, take their parents, brothers and fathers into custody, and the people don't know where they are. So, you know, we have to do something. We just can't sit around and just think that, you know, well, things are happening. There's a flotilla, there's a convoy going. That's insufficient. I think we got to do something more.
But in spite of the situation, I think the people decided not to surrender, and so there will be much more or more projects in the future.
Yes.
Can you tell us, because as you said, the people are still maybe not aware enough about the problems, and I think that in Slovakia even less. So maybe you could tell us more if someone of us wanted to participate in the future projects. What are the plans of the activists for the future?
Well, you know, based on what has been said and what transpired with the flotilla and the last convoy, we've decided that the best way to attack this is, whilst it's still fresh in the minds of the people, that the last flotilla created a lot of awareness about the plight of the Palestinians. So this time we have decided to attack with boats and the convoy. With a flotilla of approximately 60 ships is the hope that we are having, and 500 odd vehicles that's going to be driven overland from Britain.
When does it take place?
It was due to take place on the September 12th, which was postponed 2 weeks ago to September 18th. And that's only because of the feast of Ramadan. See, because they wanted some time to spend with their families before they took off on the next flotilla. We have also planned for future convoys, but I guess it's one at a time. So we have to do this flotilla, which is a huge. The logistics are immense. Anybody who is in Slovakia or the Czech Republic or in this part of the world who would like to participate, I'm sure Viva Palestina and the Free Gaza movement would be only too happy to have with us.
Whom should the people contact?
They should probably go to vivapalestina.org, and you will see every organization that's taking part in this flotilla and in the convoy, because it will show you Viva Palestina UK, Viva Palestina USA, Viva Palestina Arabia, Viva Palestina Venezuela, Padang Charity Organization of Malaysia now teamed up. So all their websites are present in the front page of vivapalestina.org. And it's up to you to go to whatever web site of your choice, and then you will see the application form and more information. Please feel free to do that and come on board. We're looking forward to having you.
Por detrás de mi voz, escucha, escucha.